Hello and good evening and welcome to the truth behind the truth. Yes, indeed. Hello, gentlemen. How are we? How are we? Y'all looking fabulous as usual. Parnell, you looking all Southern Californian today.
I had to. I'm sorry, I was late on joining in on the truth behind the truth. I was sipping my blueberry margarita.
Oh, okay.
It's 102 weather we have.
I know, right? 102. That certainly is the truth. But you're looking great. Glad to see you tonight. Indeed. Harold, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm drinking on my chamomile tea.
You ready to pour tea tonight? Okay. You just setting them over pouring the tea. Okay, I got you. We may have to find something during the break to pour. Okay. But it's good to see you guys tonight. Thank you for taking your time out as well. Sharing on this wonderful platform that we try to present. I'm getting tongue tied here. Present to everyone at this time on Saturday evenings, wherever you are on the East, West, Middle Coast, or throughout this beautiful world. We thank you for taking the time to share with us. And
you're in first gear, JB. You're already in fourth.
I know. I got to bring it a little bit. You know me. Once I get there, I'm like, got to get it in. That's actually is that Midwestern trait. Because we feel like we got to get it all in, and we only got 1 minute. Got to get it all in at the same time. But anyway, so guys, thank you again for tuning in and being a part of us tonight. We also want to remind you to support us. Please. We need your support financially. Okay. You can go to our platforms with that. We are available on Cash App at TTBTT Show on Cash App. And we are also on Venmo, The Truth Behind the Truth on Venmo. So any one of those platforms you choose, we'll take the money. And very gladly do that. But again, thank you so much. We have a wonderful, wonderful, powerful show tonight for you. Our wonderful brother is back with us tonight. Man. Yes. So excited to have him back tonight. Mr. Sampson McCormick. Hey, I'm telling you, probably the next best thing better than Richard Pryor was, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, this brother is just funny. Okay, so we're looking forward to getting a little jubilee time tonight and hear what he has to spin on the news factor with his little spin and making it funny. All right, or serious or funny, however he decides to do it. But we're so glad to have him back with us tonight. All right, let's go ahead and dig in. Y'all told me y'all well, and all. Harold's pouring tea. Parnell's ready for the beach. So I don't know what we ready for.
I'm ready to cozy on in.
Okay, all
right. It's been a long day. Yeah. Well, we can get into that, but later on.
It's in my
right now.
Okay, got you. Harold, I know you had something on your heart that we're going to go ahead and get into the topic today. You had a couple things on your heart you want to talk about. I know that you kind of mentioned to me. You want to start with those real quick?
Yeah. Well, the first thing was Carly Russell.
The
young lady in Alabama that.
Yes.
This just happened on 2 days ago on the 13th.
Yes.
Had reportedly saw a little child on the highway.
Yes.
And now is missing.
Right.
And it's really unfortunate because I didn't realize how heavy human trafficking is in Alabama as well, but all over the country. I don't watch TV and all these. And my son was telling me about these documentaries where that is a thing where these human traffickers will use kids to lure people.
So that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah, because she was driving on the highway. Right. She saw a little kid pulled over. Called the police. And told them that there was a little child that I think she said the child looked to be about 3 or 4.
Right.
And then she called her cousin. Right. And while she was on the phone with her cousin, she went to approach the child, and the last thing her cousin heard was her screaming, hollering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so it's just like, everyone is sharing, her pictures and, just trying to get the word out. But this human trafficking, and apparently it's not getting a lot of regular media attention. So it's really incumbent upon us to get the word out, spread the word.
Well, our producer Charles, he did a film actually called Safe Harbor. Okay, and you guys, I think it's on YouTube. Maybe he can put it up on the banner if he gets a chance tonight. And I did the voiceover for him on that particular. It was about human trafficking that he did. We did that probably probably at least about 6 years ago. I'm thinking, that he did a film presentation on it. It went very well. So, Charles, I know you're in the booth, but if you have a chance to put it up, maybe on where it is on YouTube, they can find it. But I encourage everybody definitely to check that out. What's about human trafficking? I think it was kind of dealing with more the teens and younger children that it was going against. But thank you for bringing it up, Harold. I mean, yeah, I did see it.
I saw it too.
Yeah, I know it wasn't part of what we were originally talking about, but I know you messaged me about let's bring that to a point tonight. It's definitely going and worth it. If you know anybody, ladies or gentlemen, protect your people. You know what I mean? Saying that you protect me. Call ladies if you're out by yourself. Make sure you keep people on the cell phone. Make sure let people know where you are. Okay, at all times. I mean, I know y'all like to go to the club and get it on, but they'll pick you up right from that club.
Yeah,
in a heartbeat. Okay,
I work in Hollywood. I see it.
Yes,
and I experience when they run to the store and they scream for 911. But one thing I also want to put out there: do not get out your car if you see anything that is just really. Just suspicious because that's when all hells break loose. It's when you leave that car. Right. Stay in your car. Yes. Call 911 until somebody comes and see about the situation. Do not get out your car.
Yes.
Right. I hate to say there was a child for a child,
right?
But the fact is, things happen. So just be very cautious of what how you go about doing these types of situations.
Mm-hmm. Right. You have something you wanted to bring up today as well before we dig into our topics? I think. You didn't? Okay, just want to make sure.
Well, let's talk about our girl Janet.
Yes.
Y'all, that girl.
Yes.
Really, I did not know this tour wrapped up so much money, and it eclipsed her last tour. Yes. Well, not some tours back.
Well, the Rhythm Nation tour.
The Rhythm Nation tour, but the All For You tour.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Almost $55 million in 37 cities. She cleared herself. Okay.
Right. Come on, Janet.
She ain't owe nobody out of it, okay? I'm just going to pay it, everybody, all right? You your check, go home. The rest is mine.
Right.
But I'm so happy for her, And the thing that's so great about it, I'm glad you brought it up. The thing that is that this was out without a current album or in the potential of releasing another album. Right. So that lets you know that how her popularity or communities are really starving for her type of artistry. It was good.
She got that staying power. Janet got that staying power.
You know what I'm saying? She didn't take her clothes off. She ain't had to strip but next. She didn't have to twerk. She had to.
Well, it ain't about if she had to. It'd be if she wanted to.
Come on now.
She had the ABC to do so.
But here's the thing: in my position, she took the stand of a 56-year-old woman. She's not ain't gonna do it. Okay.
But you know what? Even with the complaints, there were critics out there that were saying that she didn't go full throttle with with the productions and with everything that and the music where she took a risk. She performed music that weren't all of her hits. Mm-hmm. They were all music that came off of albums that were not after I think the Super Bowl situation. She did some cuts from Demita Joe and 20YO and all that, but they weren't all hits. So it kind of it really, I think for her, I think it confirmed to her that I still have people who still are supporting me and appreciating my artistry, and I think that's wonderful.
Right
now, for others who are following in her footsteps, watch and learn.
Yeah,
she didn't have high heels on, and her body was covered this time. Mm-hmm. So hey, for those who are showing areolas, get on board. You can make some money.
This is what I love about Janet is that this was on again a tour for the true fans.
Right.
The fans who have been with her from when this was the moves Janet had. Right. And it was also that was the Janet move.
Yeah.
So singing those songs and Dream Street and all those folks that came out and he doesn't even know that I'm alive. All those songs.
Diamond's our girl's best friend too.
Yes. All this stuff. And it was a very stripped down production.
Yes.
For it's like, because usually, it's a tour with all these dancers and the lights and the crazy sets and all this stuff happening. This was with her and 5 guys or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But and she showed that you really don't need all of the pomp and circumstance to have great entertainment. and she really showed that. I mean, and really at the end of the day, which is great. So many pluses to that. I mean,
and that's how she was able to pocket $55 million.
Expenses low.
Exactly. Cha-ting. Okay.
But speaking on Janet, let's talk about her contemporary Sheila E. Congrats for Sheila E. for getting that Walk of Fame.
Yes, so well deserved.
Yes, it is, because homegirl been in it to win it since Prince.
Yes.
Since the Revolution, and her doing what was her song? What was her song?
The Glamorous Life.
Glamorous Life. Yes.
Glamorous. Yeah, that was the jam.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
But since we're talking about singers and entertainment, can we talk about y'all cousins and how they've been acting the fool on the social media about Vanessa Williams?
Oh my God!
Did you read that? I don't know what they expect a 60-year-old person to look like, but why would you put those types of comments, even if you had those thoughts? Why would you say something like that in somebody's comments? I mean, this is why folks be going out getting those dangerous surgeries just because of this kind of toxicity towards folks just getting older. It's like.
And she looks very good. I mean, and to the plus to that, for her to present herself as I said, raw and naked, but not necessarily, but raw and naked from makeup and all that type. She looks good. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, you could imagine if she looks good at that particular point, then what does she look like when she's made up? You see what I mean? At the end of the day, I thought she looked really great. But but
over here in this country, young sales. And I hate to say, no, let me just say this. I don't think Vanessa Williams even worried about them comments.
Right.
Vanessa Williams is such a legend. She has opened doors for Black women, and within the beauty pageants. I don't think she's worried about that. I think people who are worried about her age need to worry about themselves and worry about their health. It's the same thing with Angie Stone the other day. People were saying that Angie Stone was dead, and Angie Stone is suing the publication who put that out there and said that she had died or she was getting sick. She said, I'm not getting sick. I was just tired that day. And I had somebody put me in a wheelchair. Nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, we need to stop it.
Yeah.
As a society, we got to stop that.
As we go ahead.
No, I was just because we got to go to break. I'm gonna just be honest. That's a rough picture of Vanessa,
right?
It's not her usual glamorous that we're used to seeing. Exactly. But that is not a reason for people to come on and it's like, oh, and all those comments that they were making. Somebody was saying that it's some old age feature because I kept looking. I'm like, Vanessa's face looks fuller than that, because everybody's using those old age filters, so you're rougher than you are.
Right.
I don't know, but whatever it is, it was beautiful of her to just be like, listen, it's not always glamour and lashes and nails. This is I've been working all day cleaning out these houses, helping my friend out here, and this is what I look like.
Right. Exactly. Completely. Well, anyway, guys, we got to get ready for a wonderful break here, and then we are coming back with our brother. I mean, I'm excited to have him back tonight. I know he's excited to be with us, but he is part of the TTBT family. All right. But we will be right back on this break with the one and only Mr. Sampson McCormick. We'll be right back, guys.
Call 844-55-STARZ. It's Junk Stars, baby.
Hey, my name is Thurston, and here I have my CEO, son Langston. We specialize in junk removal, dumpster rental, and demolition. So if you need junk removed,
call Junk Stars.
You need dumpster rentals,
call Junk Stars.
Give me
All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Truth Behind the Truth, the Laugh Factory tonight, boy. I'm telling you, it's going to be fun. But before we bring our guests, I want to remind you real quick, to definitely support us on all of our social media platforms. Wherever you're watching tonight, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, please make sure you like and share from those platforms so that others can be a part of this wonderful thing that we've got going on. And also want to remind you to definitely to support, all right? Support us by our Cash App, TTBTT Show, and on Venmo, it is The Truth Behind the Truth from that platform, all right? Thank you guys so much for doing that and sharing. No amount is too big and no amount is too small, so $1 million will do. But anyway, let's get ready to dig into some great tonight. This brother is such a wonderful talent that's out here banging the concrete. I'm telling you guys, this man's all over the place. You know, if you're not following him on Twitter, if you're not following him on Instagram, do all of those platforms. Okay, keep up with him. If he's in your town near you, go and see him. All right, because like I said earlier, this is probably our modern day Richard Pryor. All right, he is just such that good of a great of a talent. But we're gonna bring hey, I'm gonna call him Dr. Sampson McCormick, because you know what? Because he is a doctor. What he does, he's producer, he's director, he's filmmaker, he's writer, and above all, he likes to refer to as an activist in the LGBTQ community and helping bridge a lot of gaps that's out there. But without further ado, and without me running my mouth, I'm gonna go ahead and bring to the show Mr. Sampson McCormick.
Woo! Yes, Sampson.
Hey, fellas.
Hey, Sampson.
How are you?
How y'all?
We're good.
Good to see you.
Good.
We're glad
to be back.
Okay, Sampson, I'm gonna get it out the way now. So your next project, I think you need to write a scene where there are 4 brothers who host a show that one of your characters just happens to come on, and you know, I may have a couple guys in mind.
Okay, we'll see what we can work out.
A true political commentary, right? We'll see if we can work out. But go ahead, Fred. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's all. I was just giving, just saying hi. So good to see you. Oh, I forgot. I just came from the South Central Black Gay Pride event going on up at Dorsey High School here in LA.
Oh, okay.
I think this is only the second year that it's happened. So it's kind of like not a lot of people. I'm like, okay, either folks are scared. They're like, well, I can't be gay in our neighborhood.
They're scared.
Yeah. That's part of it.
They're scared.
And part of it was like a lot of people didn't know that it was happening until last minute.
Oh.
So it's kind of a lot of folks like, I didn't know this was happening. Somebody just happened to call me and tell me that this was going on. And, I had gone to an event that the Ahmad Institute had put on a couple of weeks ago. And, Auntie Maxine was there, she presenting them with a check for some renovations, $985,000, I think it posted it.
Wow.
And what she was saying, she was like, well, I go up to West Hollywood and Hollywood for their gay pride events. Why are we not having them in our neighborhoods where we live? Why do we have to go outside to feel safe to celebrate the LGBTQ community?
Right.
So I'm hoping that as next year's events coming up, that they have more help in getting the word out to the community. Like, hey, you don't have to go all the way up into Hollywood or down to Long Beach or San Diego. You can be right here where we are and celebrate.
No, the hell with that. I go celebrate it in West Hollywood. It ain't they should be getting it.
You want to go where people gonna show up, right?
Right. we okay with meeting the trade and taking it back home or behind the Walmart. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is the nuance. That would be the nuance.
It's so true.
Yes.
Definitely. So what's been going on with you? I follow you all the time. I see you. You're here. You're there. You're there. You're there. You're here. But so how's things opening up in the comedic world? And I guess after last time you were on, we were talking about coming out of COVID and what have you. So how are things opening up for you right now?
Great. I'm always touring, which is a blessing. All my shows sell out. I have a very a continuously growing audience after 22 years.
Yes.
But the thing that I've been dealing with recently is fighting the gay community over pronouns.
Let's talk about that for a minute, okay? I'd love to hear your points on that. And I know you're friends with
gosh,
I can't think of her name.
Flame Monroe.
Flame Monroe. You know,
Flame's
position on
Flame is a friend. And
Yeah.
Flame
Just celebrated her birthday. I saw folks.
Yes,
Yeah.
happy birthday, Flame.
Yeah.
Well, back in March, I went on Fox Soul and I did an interview, and they, I'm almost 40, and so that's a different generation of LGBT.
Right.
And so they were asking, they said, since you are, a generation, I think, under or above, whatever, are you struggling with any language? And I said, well, I don't quite understand everything about pronouns. Because I think that if you want to be called a she, her, for instance, when you come out of the house, you need to look like one. You need to put a beret in your head or something.
Well,
put on some lipstick or sundress. But now you can come out and you can look like we do with a beard and a mustache.
Right.
And you can walk into a woman's restroom and, there may be a woman in there who may be a survivor of sexual assault or whatever. And she don't know that you are she, her. She sees a man.
Yes.
And we live in a society now where even if this woman is terrified for her safety, it's a man. Let's not be gaslit here. It's a man, clearly. A beard and a mustache can go, I am a she, her. And society will go along with that foolishness and go, well, yes, we have to honor their gender identity. And they will tell the woman that she's wrong for freaking out that a man was in the bathroom with her.
Mm-hmm.
And so my issue is not how somebody wants to how somebody wants to identify. I think there's a proper way to go about having that conversation that doesn't include insulting people's intelligence or reality. Because once we allow
truth
people
behind
to,
the truth.
Once we allow people to tell us that you can have a full beard and a mustache and a penis and call yourself a woman, they can then take anything else that exists in society and make us accept it as true, even if it's not. And that is dangerous.
Right. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's so true.
Slow, because people can start saying, well, I'm a kid and you're 50 years old.
Sleeping with other kids.
Right. Yeah, that is
so true. So, I'm glad you brought that up, because I know we talk about it in our production meetings a lot about how this I don't know, scenario is just kind of, in my opinion, and if I'm saying it wrong, forgive me, but plaguing society. Now, plague can be good or bad, in its inception, but it's plaguing our society in a way that I feel that it's being forced. And not allowing people to grow with you in the change that you're experiencing. I think people will be a lot more acceptable if you say, well, here I am with this. Let me help you understand my process. But we go from not wanting them to understand the process to don't call me this, and then there's no in between. And anything that happens in life, there's always an in between. You have to go, if you're changing, there's an in-between period, because you don't go from, like you said, with a beard to a wig and expecting everybody to accept you in that wig. It doesn't happen.
Well, now, they don't even have to put on a wig, though. Like, I can walk outside right now and I can go to the store, and if somebody says, sir, I can sue them for calling me a sir.
Right.
That right there is not identity politics or anything. That is insanity, and we need to call it what it is.
I was just having, matter of fact, I'm not sure you got that. I had a conversation just a few minutes ago with some Latino people that were in my store. A few minutes ago, we this kind of conversation kind of waved into it, because they're Catholic, they're conservative, they're probably, I don't know, late 60s, middle 60s, whatever, but they're open to trying to understand what the changes is going on in society. So we were having a conversation about it, right? So I explained that I had a former, not a colleague, an employee back at, when I worked for another store, and how this particular colleague was, I don't know where she was. Okay, I'm telling you, you see her, you're like, okay, where are you? I mean, at the end of the day, where are you in this process? But the whole thing is that she would literally, there was like elderly people in the community, so she would these elderly people would come into the store, and 85 and above, in that category, and she would literally have a fit if they said sir. Well, it wasn't that they were being disrespectful. They didn't know. You know what I mean? Here's an 85-year-old man, and then somebody walks into the counter and says, hello, sir, how can I help you? And then you're looking something totally different than what what's coming out of you. The natural reaction is going to be, sir. So, you know what I'm saying? So
no, JB, I think the problem is that people are coddling foolishness, and people need to stop coddling foolishness. We live in this overly sensitive, politically correct time where the truth is no longer a valuable thing.
Yeah,
and that's where where a lot of these problems are coming from. Anything goes, and that is what is causing society to collapse. Where you have no structure, there will be collapse, and that's what's happening.
The truth. Yes, true. Oh, yeah.
No, but I just want to also say this, but it's becoming it's becoming troubling with the political situations that are going on, especially when it boils down to the Supreme Court ruling and all this stuff. I just feel like with that, it's just a not needed necessity. I understand that people want to be respected. Right. I understand that people want to be who they want to be in their mind, body, and soul. Now, I know for a fact I could never be a woman. I don't want to be a woman. I see what women go through. Don't go there. Don't do that. Do not do that. But I know for a fact I would never want to be. And there's no dig to women. To women. It's just I see what they have to go through and deal with, and I'm sorry, that just could not be me. But the fact is, let's just respect the woman.
Right.
That's not, and that's where I come from. Stand on with this, because I think that the respect for women, when it boils down to what they give life, they do what they have to do. There is a nuance in femininity that is being a commodity right now.
Absolutely.
And if I just feel like in situations where you want to be this particular sex, you got to understand there's a reason why people are in their feelings when you're saying, well, I'm a woman too.
Right.
When you have not had that journey of womanhood, because there's a nuance to manhood that women don't understand. But that's just where I stand on. Just have that little respect for that, and let's just keep it moving. Absolutely. Because I feel like that's where the line should be crossed. You just cannot say I'm a woman without understanding there is a nuance there. Full process. It's a full process.
Carol, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask you. I saw that you're part of a new documentary that's coming out, The Truth Be Told.
Yes.
Woo, tell us about that.
Oh, I'm so excited. So basically, it highlights the ongoing conversation between the Black LGBTQ community and the Black church and Black media. And so it I think one of the biggest issues that exists, which is why platforms like The Truth Behind the Truth is so important, because people who live the experiences need to be sharing them directly, saying this is what the reality is. One of the most harmful things to minorities, and I think our interactions as humans in general, is that the mainstream media, which doesn't care about how we interact and how we get along with each other, because they thrive on chaos. Yes. And so that documentary really allows some important conversations to occur between the Black community and the Black LGBTQ community. I think, right now we are at a time where our community is more open than they've ever been to understanding Black LGBT people. Yes. But two things are happening. Number one, this pronouns thing, and not handling it in a way where everybody is really heard and respected, and ideas that don't make sense are forced on the people. Yes. But again, I think that comes from the white gay community. Those are, and Dave Chappelle said that 2 years ago on The Closer, and everybody jumped down his throat. But this is exactly what he was talking about. Wow. And then the mainstream media, which creates narratives because they want to control how we think about each other, how we think about ourselves. And, that documentary kind of gets in and sets the record straight on a lot of those things in the Black community.
Beautiful. Partner, good.
I was going to say, because I know that it's very interesting what's going on in our faith community right now with the pastors doing the apology tour.
Yes.
With just how the church is being there for Black people. And then I forget his name.
Jamal Bryant.
Yes. Going in and just like, we owe the LGBT community an apology. It's because here we are. We're supposed to be this uplifting, supportive organization, yet we have been using our beliefs to beat people down and make them feel less than.
Right.
And of course, there are always those people who want to, because they want to hold on to their beliefs and their prejudices and don't want to open and grow. And I think that is our challenge when it comes to the pronoun thing. There's a whole thing of like, yes, I want to open and grow, but I also want to call, like Sampson was saying, like if you walk out with the full beard and chest hair and all that good stuff, but then expect me to know that you identify as she, you meet me halfway. Meet me halfway, at least make the effort, which is a different thing from our non-binary brothers and sisters who is just like going, because you're non-binary, you don't have to dress like Pat from Saturday Night Live, with the indeterminate. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can still present as male, but be like, I'm really non-binary, or present as female and be like, well, yeah, I wear these clothes because I like this, but I don't identify as she.
Right.
And that's a lot to wrap your head around.
Right.
Yeah, but this is like
that's too much. They just need to wear all white.
That's
I don't know. We got to go for a quick break, guys. We'll be back with a lot more. All right. We'll see you after this break.
Or red, like in what's.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Truth Behind the Truth, the Laugh Edition. Okay?
Yes.
We're so glad tonight to have our wonderful brother back with us tonight. And thank you for dropping those nuggets of wisdom, and in a way that I think that everybody can just breathe and accept and take it in. I mean, because it needs to be on both sides of the spectrum. Let's make some changes happen, Yeah. One point I want to pick out, then I know Donna has a question. The fact you mentioned about the white, wearing white. I don't know if you guys seen, I think I sent it out to you, but this is something, it just kind of came to mind when we were doing the break, was the new fashion in wedding attire. I don't know if you guys saw it going around with the guys with the jackets and the trains that are attached to the jackets. Now, I think that's fabulous. You don't like it?
I don't understand why everything with men is becoming so feminine. Like, I mean, I get a little flair, but it's like everybody wants to be a woman, and I don't.
Not I, girl. Not I. Don't put me
and go ahead, Martin. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we used to hide in the house and do that in the room, and everybody's outside, like,
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, and see, I have a point about that too when he fusses me at about. Then I'm gonna let him talk to this guy. But this person on Instagram, I gotta bring it up now. I ain't saying no names. Y'all probably seen it because I know I'm sending it to all y'all. To your point is what is this thing with putting on the women attire, the high heels, and you thinking you are a better model than Tyra Banks, and you walking you into the camera and you just dropping it, and people all over the wherever they like it on you. I don't get it. I mean, and this goes to your point earlier. You got the beard, you got the dress open and you're seeing your chest there, but you want to be better than Naomi Campbell and walking the runway. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my head on. Don't look at me like that, Harold. I'm trying to get my head around this whole idea. Okay, I'm done saying. But anyway, go ahead.
That's your Republican conservative side.
Well, there you go.
Out.
Okay.
But you know, I just want to tip my hat off to you, Sampson, because I love the direction where your YouTube show is going when it comes down to Black love. I wish this would have came out when I was in college, because I always thought at least Black gay love was taboo. Because all I ever saw, at least with mainstream media or social media platforms, was interracial love. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I've always been attracted to Black men. I ain't gonna lie, Black men, it's just something about Black men. But the thing about it, though, I like that direction, that stance that you're taking to show that we are out here and we are representing the Black LGBTQIA plus community. What made you want to go in that direction? Were you getting tired of the narrative of, in order for Black men to find love, we're going to have to step outside of our communities to do it? Or, was there other reasonings?
I mean, several reasons, but a couple people have asked me that question. I really think that show was kind of a gift to me. I was sitting in here and I was asking myself, what's next? And then that kind of just dropped in my spirit to do. I had no idea that it would connect with people the way that it has. And not just because of the visibility of two Black gay men going, we love each other and we're making this work, but also the journey to getting there, the things that they have to overcome within themselves to accept the fact that loving another man is okay and it's beautiful to do and it's possible. What they have to overcome together, some of their journeys together. And when you look at each episode, each couple has their own thing. So some of the themes might be how friendship brought them together. My favorite was Ronald and Greg. Their relationship was absolute chaos. But that brought them together. And a lot of people judge them because I think Greg was married and he was a pastor, and Ron was sneaking to the church, sleeping with him in the basement and all kinds of crazy stuff. And people judge that because they want these very uptight, which I like. I'm very correct. I like uptight, but the message that no matter how you move through life, you're worthy of love is important.
Wow, that's beautiful. I like that. I like that. Pardon?
I want to go back to this wedding attire. D tried to take it out. We ain't passing that. Now, because I saw some of the AI generated images and stuff, and some of it was like, oh, that's nice, that's beautiful. Because there are some guys who they may not necessarily want to wear a dress. I'm not a person who would want to wear a dress, but I could feel like wanting to feel very royal with a nice long flowing cape coming behind me or whatever. And so some of those were great. But I think what's happening is that we are making room for men who may have more feminine energy to be able to express themselves as well. I support my brothers who like heels and makeup and all that stuff. That's not my thing. And there are times that I have to also have my own internal battle, like, oh, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Because I see the videos with all these, guys dancing in heels or walking and prancing and whatever. And it is a challenge for myself to be able to, they need an opportunity to express themselves as well.
Right.
It's not about how I feel about them doing that. It's about how do they feel being able to wear these heels. And I can like it or not like it. And that's the point it is. But it's a whole thing of what's happening is people telling, oh, you shouldn't, or you can't. Or, like they tell us, oh, that's fine as long as you keep it over there and I don't have to see it. And that's no way for us to advance as a people, is telling people you have to live on my. It's not my job to make you comfortable with my life.
But understanding there's a niche for it, because let's just be honest, people love what they love. You know, you got leather crews, you got fashion crews, you got all of that. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with, being comfortable in what you love. I just think when it's been thrown at you with such, and you know what?
But I don't think it's being thrown at us.
I don't think it's been thrown.
It's just being exposed.
I think that's what it is, though. Here, I think that's the correct way of saying it. I think it's being exposed, and I think a lot of people who are not used to that, because I'm from the South, I'm from the Bible Belt. It took college, and it took for me to go to Atlanta on certain nights to see that type of culture, because I wasn't exposed to it. Now, I did watch Noah's Ark, okay, when my mom was asleep. But it's just the fact is that when you see it up close and you talk to these people, like, you didn't like drag, you don't understand the drag culture. No, I love the drag culture. I love it. I love talking to them because they're fun. They come into my store, we talk, we have a kiki. But I understand that a lot of people who are not exposed to that, they won't understand it. They will never understand it, or it's just not their thing, and that's okay too.
And some of that could be our own old programming, what we were told was right and wrong, that we still carry, that old trauma that we still carry. A lot of us have a lot of trauma. And so when stuff is exposed, that makes us feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
And there are men who identify as men, but they want to feel pretty.
They can wear it well.
Because this whole thing where you got like these guys who are all beefy and butt but they're wearing like lacy panties and stuff, whatever.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, like, get your big ass, sit down somewhere and put some hands on with your crusty ass.
See, Sampson sound like my homophobic uncle.
Well, homophobic people like me, so I think that's why.
Right. So, Sampson, you've been in comedy over 20 years. How has it changed, or has it changed?
Oh, it's changed a lot. I think at the core, though, people still want what's funny, but I did a show last night, and what I noticed is people feel a lot safer laughing at things that are not funny. And I study, comedy is just not a study of the art, it's a study of society and just all culture. And it really is bigger than just telling jokes. And what I notice is that people feel more comfortable laughing at things that we all know are not funny because they are safe. And so that's why a lot of the quality of the comedies that you see on television and the film have gone down, is because people go for safe. Things that are genuinely funny are not always comfortable. They challenge you in a lot of ways, and they allow us, comedy, and I'm gonna answer your question in a second, but comedy is a very important tool for communication, because say for something like pronouns, or, men who want to come out the house and, they look like Mr. T, but they want to wear some stilettos or whatever. Comedy allows us to acknowledge how absurd we think it is. But if we can laugh at it together, we can be honest. But it kind of makes that conversation a lot easier to have. And it also, comedy is also very inclusive. But we have come to a point now where people have become so overly sensitive. They're scared to offend somebody. They're scared to think independently. And so comedy challenges all of that. And when you're in there, instead of people laughing out loud, they will cover their mouth like this, and they'll look around, and they'll bend over in the seat and stuff like that, as opposed to laughing out loud, which is why I love coming to the hood to do comedy, because that's where real comedy still is. Black people after 11 p.m., they really don't give a damn. They want to hear the real shit. They don't want to hear no politically correct. Just go over there and say what you need to say.
And we come from a different cloth. I don't think to be honest with you, I was telling somebody in the store, I went to an HBCU, and what I've learned on those camps, at least at Alabama State, was the Black experience. Ain't nothing pretty that's gonna come up out of our mouths.
Nope.
Nothing pretty. And I think, to be honest with you, sensitivity to us is, I don't know if it's called weakness, but it's different. It's different. If you disrespect me, it kind of doesn't faze me as it would my Caucasian brother and sister, because they don't know how to take that. Right. I take it
or
better
younger. Oh yeah, white people, they hate, especially when you call a white woman a cunt. Oh, that's like throwing water.
Wow,
throwing water on a witch. Hey, you call me a cunt. Oh, they hate that.
You know,
the bass in your voice would intimidate them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So looking at, and then we'll probably have to go to the break and dig into this a little bit. After.
Yeah.
So, comedy on the political front. How in your audience base, what deposits that you are able to, through your comedy, that happens on the political front that they walk away with? Maybe we get a minute of that and then we'll go to break real quick. But so comedy on the political front. So how do you take on that challenge?
Oh, okay. So that all that stuff is changing because of how society is looking at things and things like that. So what I'm finding is my audience is expanding now. Okay. I always wanted to have a big gay audience, but they never showed up. And so, the lesbians have showed up, everybody else, but I wanted gay men to show up for me. They never did. And so I had to kind of adapt my thinking to how everybody else is. And so I think, because the world has become more inclusive of LGBT and Black people want to hear those perspectives. They're starting to come. And I'm not just shoving gay rights down their throat. I'm still making sense. And so it's allowing the audience to expand. Ironically, again, a lot of the gays they be on Twitter trying to drag me, but they don't know that turns me on a little bit.
Okay.
Let me take a sip.
I'm sorry. We got a quick break, guys.
Make me, choke me, pull my hair. I get it.
We got to go to a quick break. We'll be right back. But we want to finish your point from what you're talking about. Then when we come back, we'll be right back, guys.
Thank me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into The Truth Behind the Truth tonight. Yeah. And you guys are getting the truth behind the truth tonight. Yes. Again, I want to thank you. I also want to remind you definitely to support us on our social media basis as well as your financial support. Yeah. The million I talked about early is somebody, I'm still waiting for somebody to do it. Okay. So we are on Cash App, TTBTT Show, and on Venmo as The Truth Behind the Truth. All right. So let's go and finish digging in to our wonderful brother tonight. You were making a point, something I know we had to cut off for the break. You want to pick it up from there?
Yes, I got to shout out Parnell. Parnell, we appreciate your talent. I don't think we say that enough. We really do. We really do, Parnell.
Yes.
But yeah, I think two of the most harmful things that exist in how we communicate as Black people and Black gay people. Number one, Black people become very threatened by people who think independently.
Oh my gosh! Can you say that again for the? Can you say that for the one again for the people in the back of the house? Okay.
Black people get threatened by black people who think independently. They immediately, if you counter something that black people have always repeated because they heard somebody else said it, they never have experimented for themselves. They've never, created their own hypothesis or own approach to trying to figure out what it is. They immediately accuse you of talking. I have been called coons for the past 6 months.
Wow.
Because I have just now, I think I just now publicly have started saying things that I always have thought, and and if you really have followed my career at all, I've always said it on stage. But I think when you got to read it on Twitter, like, there's a difference reading it versus hearing somebody say it. And it really is true. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. A person
what are some of the things that they're kind of bringing back to your attention? I guess what you're saying. What are some of those things?
Well, like if I say this and I got in trouble for saying it, but I think that the Democratic Party is bad for black people.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
And if you say that, they automatically go, well, white people, they try to scare you into thinking in a way that has not helped us at all in the last, how long have we been here?
Right, 200 years.
Yeah.
And so you tell them, I think we need to examine how we approach politics, and they go, oh, look at you, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and you working for mass. We're not on the plantation no more. We ain't
right.
The closest we ever came to that was going down to the Target getting a shirt.
Right. Okay.
I have to give it up to the Republicans. They have the best PR team. They know how to, and I'm saying that because they know how to repeat the narrative and repeat certain things that they know they are fighting for. I think with the Democrats, to be honest with you, and this has been my issue with the Democratic Party, is the fact that we understand that y'all are working for the people, but the way you're going, well, maybe, because you do got those who've been in there for so long, you be thinking, who's paying your rent or who's paying your bills? Right. But I'm just saying. Right. But the thing about it is, I feel like with the Democratic Party, I think they mean well, but I feel like they are not always going about selling their stuff the right way. And I think if you're going to do an Asian hate bill or any type of hate bill, make it clear across the board. Everybody needs a hate damn bill. Right. I'm just saying. It's just I feel like sections. Yes, I just don't. I think, to be honest with you, they have to do better with the way they push their agendas out, because the Republicans are killing them in that.
Well, it's also okay. So, like on a local level, I think Democrats are okay because that's a different kind of Democrat. Like, Maxine Waters is different from, say, what we would expect from Obama, or something like that. Maxine, she's right here. She's black. She knows what the people in the community needs. That it's a different sort of thing. But like on a federal level, where you truly have to advocate for things that we need, they aren't showing up. Or they would do things that create more of a divisive sort of coexistence between different communities. For instance, why do we take rights away from black people and then give them to Asian people? Now you start fights between them two.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Well, I've always said, like, why did it take 60 years to get the Emmett Till bill passed?
Oh, the anti-lynching.
Right.
But why did it take that long? I mean,
you know why they do that, though. They do it. It's the same. And black people are never going to get reparations, so we need to let that go. Yeah. They will use that, and they will dangle that carrot for as long as we allow them to. And so they do things that are easy for them to do to keep reeling us in. And we don't hold them accountable. It's like being it's like one of them boyfriends that come over and give you the good dick. And he give it to you real good, and then you don't hear from him for 4 years, and then you waiting on him though.
Great point.
There's the truth behind the truth. Yes, it's the truth behind.
This is what our system is like we have one party who openly promotes white nationalism or white supremacy, and then the other party that is afraid to challenge it, so they cater to it, or they pander to it. Well, we don't want them to get masked. We're not going to push too much. for y'all to get this advancement. And that's what is really, when people say it's the same thing, it's like, yes and no, because we can look at the makeup of the Democratic Party and see that there's much more diversity in who's making up the Democratic Party, as opposed to like the Republican Party. It's like the sea of whiteness with a sparkle of color here and there. But it's like, but the Democrats are just so afraid to actually man up, woman up, whatever, is be tough and go like, no, this is what we stand for, and this is what we're fighting for. Because the shit that I say I stand for, and I don't care who gets mad or their feelings about it. I'm standing on that. And the Democratic Party needs to just be like going, okay, racist white folks, y'all gonna be mad about this, but this is what we're doing. This is what we're standing for. And y'all can foam at the mouth and get all upset about it as you want to. But as a party, this is where we're going. But instead, when we have white people who are just like, well, I don't want that anger to turn on to me, so I don't want to
But we have to vote.
It's a lot deeper than that too, though. It's a lot deeper than that too. Like politics, another reason why Black people get stepped over is because we have not quite learned how to leverage our vote, number one, and then also the way we move our money. Every other minority community circulates money in their own community except for Black people. Black people will show up to a Black-owned business and I don't like the way they look. I don't like the colors.
They show up and ask for a discount. Okay?
Show up and ask for a discount. Jewish people do it completely different. If Jewish people don't like something about your business, they will sit down with you and say, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And then they will continue to support you as you do it. Black people will watch you struggle and throw shit on you while you struggle. And you have to rise above those circumstances.
True. And talk about you and talk about you in the same week. Brother, it has been so great having you tonight. Oh man, as always, rich, and powerful. Guys, please follow this man. Okay, at the end of the day, support. Can you give me like 20 seconds just of how they can reach you and be in touch with you for those that don't know Sampson real quick on your
platform? OnlyFans. Get on OnlyFans. Instagram at Sampson McCormick, Sampson McCormick, and also on YouTube, Sampson McCormick.
Wonderful. Brother, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Guys, hey, it's been about laughter. Take all what has been said tonight and make it a party. Like, make the change, be the change, so you can be the change. Amen. That has been the truth behind the truth tonight. We love you guys. We'll see you back here next week. Gonna be another great show. Brother, come back at any time. You know, understand?
Thank you for what you're doing for having me.
Yes, we welcome you at any time. Have a safe night. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week on the what? The truth behind the truth. Good night, y'all.